Everyone. Hi, everyone. I'm Jason Park, Head of Business Development at Bittrex Global and the host of our video AMA. Today, we're featuring poker and delighted to introduce our guest today, Austin, who's the ops manager for the poker team. Austin, thanks for joining us. Very excited to chat with you today.
Thanks, man. Good to be here. I'm ready to kick this off.
Great. So Austin, for our AMAs, we typically source questions from the Bittrex Global and the broader crypto communities regarding your listings, and we have a lot of great questions to get through. So let's dive in. So to kick things off, we always like to learn a bit more about our guests and kind of hear your story. So can you tell our audience what gave you the idea to join poker and kind of how you first got into the crypto space?
Well, personally, I got into the crypto space when I was quite young, actually, when I was still in high school, back when they had Minecraft, like Bitcoin slots, and where Minecraft was like less than $1. That's how I learned about crypto. But getting into the crypto job space, after I graduated, with my business degree, I really wanted to do something with finance, and banking institutions all seemed a little bit like unfair to me and all that stuff. So getting into DeFi and getting into with the poker project itself seemed like a natural fit. I've been with the project for a long time now, love it, and the inspiration for it was just our CEO wanted a crypto poker game, and by God, we're getting it. So. We don't have any crazy origin story, no fancy coming of age story with poker, but we're a solid project. All of our team is just focused on making it work, and we're unique. We're very unique in the space, like you said.
Sure, and thanks for sharing that. So I guess to dig a little deeper on the actual team, and if you can give me a little background about the team's experiences, where they used to work, and kind of how they came up with the idea of creating this.
So we have a pretty varied team and a pretty big team as well. I think we're inching on 50 members now on the team. So that's pretty good. That's pretty big for a crypto project. My background personally, I was in finance. I was in business development. But we have anyone from architects to airplane engineers, pilots, obviously software devs have worked on other games in the past. We have logistics operations people that do like day-to-day. They used to work with like shipping management and stuff like that. And obviously a really good social media team too. So we got people from all over the place. It's really cool to see so many different like minds come together. And anything that comes up day to day is easily handled because we have so much experience outside and inside of crypto.
Yeah, no, that's very interesting, and I think it's fascinating to see. I've been in this industry for about 3-4 years now, and in the very beginning, it was a lot of engineers and those types, or finance related folks. But it's fascinating to really see the industry grow, and we have so much diversity now within the industry, and it seems like your team has that as well. So that's very, very interesting to hear.
Oh, yeah, one of the sorry to cut you off. One of the cool things is our CEO is an architect, right? And that eye for detail really helps when it comes to making visually pleasing games and coding and making sure infrastructure works. And, infrastructure as code is super important, and that's some of the things that we've been focusing on recently as well.
Yeah, that's great. So let's talk a bit about the project itself. So, how would you pitch poker project to a non crypto investor? Maybe if you can kind of give a elevator pitch type for our audience, that'd be great.
For a non crypto investor?
Sure.
So for a non crypto investor, I'd go, we're a really, really fancy poker game that's made in the Unreal Engine. And what that means is, I'm sure you've seen poker games online that look like crap. We don't.
Yep.
We get people interested quickly because of the bright flash, and we keep people invested in it with how like community focused we are. And that's a quick elevator pitch for non-crypto. And then they go, okay, so, how do you play it? And then I would go into the crypto portion, explain to them, if they don't know crypto, what it is. Getting some feedback, by the way.
Yeah, no, let's get into the details of the game, if you can kind of elaborate on that.
Sure. Essentially, with poker, we're a play-to-earn, free-to-play game made in the Unreal Engine. So the game itself, let's say on a Saturday night, you and the boys want to like play around the poker table, have some fun. We're not going to stop you from doing that, right? You can come in and just play completely for free with some friends, make a private table, do what you want. But the real crux of poker comes from the play-to-earn model. And when you get into the play-to-earn model, there'll be a couple bucks up front. And from there, then you can start earning NFTs, which will eventually have different staking pools for them and different reward methods from those pools, as well as the ability to trade them on the open market, etc. They'll have a leveling system in the game that allows you to earn faster and earn different things, as well as an open account system where you can share cosmetic items as well. And it's all while playing poker.
And where can the users actually play the game itself?
So right now, we're going through a final beta coming up here in about a week. I think we're doing Saturday of next week as the start. And what you can do is you can sign up on our newsletter, or you can use one of our social medias to do a beta key drop. We give them out fairly regularly. And if you're one of the lucky few, you can play our game. We'll send you an executable for it, or you'll be playing through our web host, PureWeb. From there, it's easy as signing in and playing.
Got it. Understood. So I guess looking ahead now, what does the future of poker look like? And what are some of the key milestones that your team would like to hit along the way?
Right. So future of poker, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It looks bright. It's really cool. We have so many of these like long-reaching plans, and we're doing great in hitting all of our milestones. I think sometime in January is when we'll have a fully playable executable out. Beyond that, we want to have, and we're going to hit that milestone as well. Other things that we have is we have games coming out beyond just the poker brand, which will expand into a metaverse style of system. With our own client, our own like VR space for people to interact and hang out between playing poker or one of our different titles that we come in the future. And with talking about those different titles, we plan on having the community pick on which one they want to see first. We have a bunch of different, tricks in our hat right now. And we want to give back to the community and say, hey, after poker comes out, after we're, solidified on that, what do you guys want to see next? And token holders will be able to vote on what game comes next from there.
Got it. And I guess in relation to your answer, and this question is actually from one of our community. I think it's a good question. Sure. So, gaming and blockchain have kind of, in a way, managed to become synonymous, and it would naturally think that it's a crypto and gaming is going to be a great fit in today's environment, right? But I feel like real innovation and broad adoption have been kind of hard to come by, right? There hasn't been a very, mass adoption of crypto gaming projects out there, even though there's a ton of them. So in your opinion, what do you think it's going to take for the crypto gaming to, break into kind of the mainstream audience, and how do you think poker is pushing that boundaries in terms of innovation?
Yeah. So as a whole, crypto needs to break into the main market by integrating crypto into the in-game currency systems of major games. It's going to take a major studio to make that first step into making one of their in-game currencies crypto, right? But how we're approaching it as well is pretty unique. Is we have a traditional game. A game is old as time, right? Poker, sitting down at the table with some people, expanding that into an online space, and then incorporating crypto into it with NFTs, the play to earn aspect. That's a good way to start breaking people's mold of saying it's not just video games, guys. Crypto is coming into other methods of enjoyment in our reality. Poker's not just a video game; it's real. It's something you can do in person. So that's one of the big ways is a change on something traditional, right? And using crypto to power that change.
Got it. Thanks for that.
Yeah, no problem.
Could you talk about kind of the journey of the poker team and what you guys went through? It's always interesting to hear new projects and learn from really the obstacles that you faced, and kind of try what you guys did to try to bring the project into fruition, and how your team overcame those.
Yeah, sure. So, one of the big hurdles for us just has been, people being aware that we're not just another poker game, right? We're something that is completely different from what is operating in the space. Having people understand that we are getting the graphics of a really good game and not just a web client. And when people join, it's like, well, what separates you from other games? Well, it's like, we're just pretty. We're super, super pretty with a very, solid back-end system for, transparency and fairness. We're all on chain. So one of my biggest obstacles is making sure people understand what we are and not getting it twisted, right? We got to make sure understanding what poker's branding is. And I think, that push for marketing and push for publicity has been a constant obstacle that we keep hurdling, but it's going well overall. We keep hurdling it well with no slip ups.
Sure. And you talk about the UI aspect and the graphics of the game, and I actually haven't seen those. So I'm getting really curious to actually witness what the game would look like, because if you think of a online poker game, typically you would probably just see the poker table and maybe different colored chips, but
right. Couple cards, maybe.
I'll definitely check out what kind of graphics that you guys have in game.
Yeah, we actually have. Sorry to cut you off, but we actually have a live gameplay video on our YouTube, and I can share that towards the end. But I streamed it myself.
Sure.
I went over people playing the game, watched some players have a good time, have fun, played a few hands myself, all with smooth jazz in the background. So it was a good time.
Yeah, and are you guys going to host any type of poker tournaments, or are you guys inviting professional players and things like that? Can you share about that?
Sharing about the poker players, I cannot just yet. Keeping things a little bit secret for now, but it's definitely something we're interested in and are working on. Tournaments themselves, we actually are focusing on a tournament mode in our developers' next sprint, and so that should be a main priority coming up in the month of late December, early January, that 2-week period, and for our tournament mode to be solidified by then, so we can then start hosting tournaments. We actually have coming kind of soon a special announcement that involves a little bit of fun stuff with that. So again, we'll be announcing more here soon in the future. Yeah,
it's a great marketing tactic is building up that anticipation, right? So you do with that. So another question from our community, and they seem to be interested in the structure of your project. So can you tell us about how poker is structured and some of the reasoning behind that? I think this is probably regarding maybe the payouts and things like that.
Okay. So if we're talking about how players earn, right? So the structure behind the project itself, like I said earlier, it's free to play at the start. If you don't want to spend $1, you don't have to. You can just play for fun. But the earning structure, as you pay in, the minimum is I think 5 USD is what we're going for. You start to earn an in-game currency called tickets, And what these tickets do is they allow you to enter either one-on-one or 9-player tournaments where you can gain more tickets, as well as gain XP faster to level up, to then get higher chances at earning NFTs. The more tickets you have, the better pools you can join to gain better NFTs. And the higher level you are, the better chance that you have at getting NFTs. You gain levels in the game by playing hands. You get more by winning. You can also interact with the Metaverse, which is currently connections to social media and using and voting on governance protocols. But generally, it's all focused on earning that NFT, and then the rewards come from whatever you would like to do with the NFT, either selling it on the on a secondary market, or participating in some of our staking pools.
Got it. So by participating and playing and I guess winning would entitle a user to use that earnings to buy an NFT. Is that how I'm understanding that correctly?
Not buy necessarily, because it's all in-game currency, but get the in-game currency to receive an NFT. Yeah.
Okay, understood. So I also see, on your website, you mentioned that your project uses Unreal Engine 4. So what does this mean, and why is it important?
So Unreal Engine 4 is a type of development software that is essentially, essentially it's a powerful tool for making games itself. It's based on the language C++, which means that anyone that is familiar with C++ can kind of learn Unreal, and it has a basis in very graphically pleasing games. So you're looking at older games like Unreal Tournament and modern games like Fortnite, right? These games are always like ahead of their time graphically. Their 3D modeling is great. Their rigging structure is phenomenal, and they have potential for really cool and custom animations. The Unreal company, Epic Games, also has great support for all of the developers that build on their platform, which just means it's quite easy to plug and play some assets that they already have available to the team, right? And also to modify them and make our own. So not only is it powerful, it's very, very useful. Sure.
So let's kind of switch gears, and interested in how you guys really market your project. If there is a certain clientele that you guys are targeting, certain jurisdictions, curious to know what kind of marketing strategies that you guys are currently doing.
Our current marketing strategies are our social medias themselves are being rather active. We like to post anywhere from 1 to 3 times a day on all of our socials and make sure everyone that's following us knows. But we also are doing like rewards for sharing us, motivating people to get out there to their friends, get their friends to sign up for the betas, all that stuff. Otherwise, we like to work with influencers on making sure that like they're in the beta, they're enjoying it, they're talking to their fans, and just in general, we like doing these AMAs and having other communities know about us too. We like the opportunity to talk to people who might not know about us and say, hey, come check out the game, come try it out, come, at least if you can't play, come give it a look on YouTube or Twitch, and get interested in the project.
Sure. I guess another question, and I do have a legal background, so I'm curious to understand. I'm assuming you've had to navigate through some of the regulatory issues that might come with online poker and things like that. So what kind of issues did you guys run into, and how did you guys navigate those?
Well, the big thing is we're not a gambling project, so a lot of the regulations that people think that we might have had to deal with have been non-issues. We're play to earn, so our token isn't a gambling token. The game itself, people can't actually wager cryptocurrencies, but it's just playing into the play to earn project side of things. The real issue is making sure people understand that and say, hey guys, really, we're not dipping our toes into that water, and explaining to people, what our actual model is and what we represent, right? We're we're pretty transparent with our community. You can audit every single one of us on like LinkedIn. We have our team page up, and people know that we're on the upfront about what we're doing, how we're doing it, and what our approach is. And the big obstacle is having that conversation very often.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And thanks for sharing that, obviously.
Yeah, no problem.
I used to work for a blockchain trade association, did some policy work. So I know how difficult it is to have someone look at a project and get rid of all the assumptions that they might have, right? So I think it's important, and I think it's I applaud you guys on doing all these marketing activities and other initiatives to really educate the users and maybe certain regulators out there. So I think it's an important thing that you guys are doing. Let's talk about NFTs and Metaverse a little bit. I know that you've touched up on it a little bit, but I see that Polker has plans to expand more into kind of the Metaverse space. So can you tell us about what that might entail and what the future of Polker looks like in regards to Metaverse?
Yeah, I'm actually so excited to talk about the Metaverse stuff, dude. So right now we're working on, we want to have at least a couple games in our Metaverse before we start creating that space around or inside of this, in these game spaces for people to like, when you load up the client, we want you to load up into a Metaverse space. We want you to be able to walk into a room to select a game. We want people to have access to the social media all on one platform. And, partnering with other Metaverse projects that have that space ready to go is, a short-term solution, but we are making our own, VR poker game, right? And that's going to be step one. That's going to be something big that we are pushing for. I think our roadmap has sometime next year, but I'm not too certain right now. Because we want to make that perfect, right? We want to make it so I can actually like pick up my deck of cards and feel like I'm throwing it on the table when I lose. And because that tactile experience is what people really want and what's been missed a lot, especially during like COVID, right? It's really hard to like get a cool local poker game going and actually like feel the cards in your hand, do a shuffle. And that's one of the big things for us is getting that VR experience down and making sure that it can be felt. So that's what I'm really excited for, and that's what we're pushing for in the future.
Got it. No, that does sound very interesting. It's gotten increasingly difficult to physically meet with a lot of people, and just even play poker because of the time right now. So that sounds very, very interesting, and definitely look forward to hearing more updates on that. So I think we've hit a lot of the questions that I had for you. Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about during this AMA?
Actually, I'd just like to go over, do a quick thank you to the Bittrex and the poker community. You guys have been awesome. Every time we've worked with Bittrex, it's been nothing but quick and easy. So that's wonderful. I'm glad for you to have us here. And I'm glad for poker for our community just sticking around, showing a lot of love, dealing with my antics personally in the crew chat. So much appreciated on that. I think we're Poker Crew on Telegram, on Twitter, we're Poker PKR. Give us a look up. I'm sure after this video goes live, and like all the links are posted, we'll be in all of them. So just scroll down, click that. But I just want a big thank you.
Yeah, well, Austin, we'll really appreciate the kind words, and we're certainly excited to have you guys partner with us and have your project list with us. So thank you, Austin, for joining us today. This was a helpful time, and I'm certain that our community has learned a lot more about poker and the token. So we're really excited about the partnership and the progress we will witness in the coming years for poker. So thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, Jason, for having me. Much appreciated.
Yep. And if our viewers want to learn more about poker, please go to www.polker.game. That's POLKER.game. Thank you again, Austin. Appreciate it.
No problem, brother. Take it easy.
Bye-bye.